No one gets away with anything. Do you believe that? I believe it. And based on the folks that I've talked to, them sharing their life experiences with me, I get the impression that no one does get away with anything. Now, I'm not talking about jurisprudence. Plenty of folks get away with plenty of things. Murder, embezzlement, jaywalking. Never been caught. I'm not talking about no one gets away with anything from an afterlife perspective. It very well may be the case that there's a God there with a tally sheet who's ready to call us on every little mistake we've made. No, I'm talking about our lived experience. How our future self pays for our current shortcuts, mishaps, flaws, and shortcomings. Been watching The Simpsons for years and years, and it still makes me chuckle. But there's this scene in a Simpsons episode somewhere where Homer's mixing vodka into a jar of mayonnaise for a new drink sensation. Marge is rightfully concerned about the consequences, but Homer assures her this is a problem for future Homer. Now, I have lived by that lifestyle philosophy for many, many years, where either unconsciously or consciously knew I was doing a stupid thing, taking a shortcut, not doing the hard work, and I knew that future John would pay the price. And in every case, future John, without exception, has paid the price. He has gotten away with nothing. Some examples. Well, my marriage started off well, as most marriages do. But too often, when something difficult would pop up, a difficult conversation or perhaps an argument, I chose the easy way out, the shortcut, and avoided it. Kicked the can down the road, so to speak. And did that enough times to where the relationship was weakened and divorce was inevitable. And I ended up losing a terrific person from my life. That's on me. I take a lot of responsibility for that failed relationship. Future John paid the price. Or my opioid addiction. Early on, after my neck and back surgeries, those painkillers were very helpful in dealing with the pain. But, of course, being opiates, they gave me that little lift, that little high, and helped to kind of suppress, paint over my anxieties, lessened my inhibitions. And if there was a business meeting that I had, well, instead of facing that business meeting on my own merits, with my own anxiety, and dealing with those stressors, what I had, well, I juiced up. I cheated. I took a pill to get through those meetings. More for the pain? No. More to get rid of the anxiety. And it served me well in the short term, even though I knew it was the wrong thing to do. And future John paid the price on that. That 10-year addiction pretty much destroyed everything in my life, except my life. So I got that going for me. But it cost me a lot. It cost me a job. It cost me my family. Future John paid the price. I think of the word sin, and it's the right word. I grew up religious, and I'm not so religious these days, but the word sin still applies. It means to miss the mark, to fall short. And as human beings, we excel in falling short. We're flawed. Hopefully we give it our best effort, our best aim. Sometimes we don't. I've missed the mark sometimes simply by running in the other direction. I was bullied in grade school and in high school, and I had many opportunities to stand up for myself, to say, hey, I'm being slighted, I'm being treated unjustly. I deserve respect, but that was awkward. The idea of a confrontation was frightening. It would take work and effort and courage. So I ate it. Ran the other way. And in the short term, I avoided some confrontation. Probably would have been good for me to have that confrontation. Even if it meant getting my butt kicked. I would have felt like I stood up for myself and gave it a shot. But I ran away. And my future self paid for that with serious self-esteem issues that I still deal with. And it's been my gut, more than anything, that has told me the right thing to do. That little tug in my gut. Some people have that voice in their head, their conscience. And whether that is God or a social construct, it's hard to deny that that little voice in the head or that tug in the gut isn't there, universally. Without question, that little tug in my gut has told me the right thing to do all throughout my life. Now, I may not have acted on it, but I did know. I did know the right thing to do. To stand up for myself, to be true to who I am, to be authentic, not to betray what I know was the right thing to do, the healthy thing to do. And look at it morally, look at it ethically, look at it as simply what's in the best interest of my psychological health. That little tug in the gut was right on the money. And I'm trying to listen to that and follow that lead more and more these days. Because I've come to realize the consequences of my actions affect me more than anyone else. And the short-term gains for avoiding growing pains, awkward conversations, confrontation, arguments, they're not worth it when it comes to the long-term consequences of betraying yourself. So my goal is this: to act on what I know is right, to speak up for myself and others when that little tug in my gut tells me the right way to go. No one gets away with anything, especially me.